to Motherhood in Black and White. I'm Kaanji.
I'm Tara.
And this week, as we are winding down summer 2022, we're actually going to talk about summer vacations, vacationing with our kids, our families, and how we as moms can be more fully present when we are on vacation. Some of the things that Tara and I have learned and some of the things that we have not really done so well. How does that sound?
It'd probably be more of the things we don't do well, but yes, that sounds great.
So you actually have a vacation coming up, Tara. So this is really good timing for you.
It is. It is very good timing for me. Like we shared last week, we didn't make our summer vacation. Thanks a lot, COVID. But we managed to shoe in a short trip. We're going to go to Disneyland in California at the end of the month.
Now, was this your idea?
Do you think this was? No, it wasn't. It's really interesting. So we booked Hawaii at the beginning of the year, and then Gage started talking about wanting to go to Disneyland a few months ago. So it kind of worked out. Gage wants to go see the Star Wars stuff. We all are into it. I'm excited. I've never been. It'll be fun, but it's for Gage.
So I know it's not a contest about who's the better mother, but clearly you're going to win this one because when my son was Gage's age last year, Roman said he wanted to do Disneyland or Disney World. And so what I did, because I had no interest in going, is I sent Roman and his father, my husband, to Disney World as a father-son trip. And that was the way for me to be the best mom I could be. So they went last October because they wanted to do the Star Wars thing that they have at Disney World. I don't even know what it's called.
Make the lightsabers. It's a Galaxy's Edge?
Yes.
Yes.
They wanted to do Galaxy's Edge. And my husband said to me, he's like, oh, I wish you could come. I wish you could be here. And I said, why would you want that? Because that sounds, terrible for me because I don't really enjoy those things like y'all do.
Yes.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
And two, like y'all are going to have so much more fun without me there because when I'm on vacation with you, I'm like mom, right? I'm like making sure that everything is being taken care of and that you are eating healthful. I said with dad there, y'all are just like feeding a family of 14.
It's just a party every day, all day.
Exactly.
Up all night, party all day.
So that's going to be like something that I still do when I go on vacation is I am like rule planner follower. I set itineraries, agenda exactly as I am in my normal life.
Right.
Is how I show up as a mom on vacation.
Yes.
So, but that's not you.
It can be me. Now, I've done better over the years. I used to be pretty bad about scheduling every day within an inch of everybody's life, and nobody enjoyed it. So I've learned and adapted. I don't do that much anymore. Or if I do, I plan like one thing a day and then lots of free time. So everybody feels like they get some free time. And for this trip, I'm trying not to get really caught up in the whole Disneyland itinerary thing. We really only want to see Star Wars stuff and the Marvel stuff. And I'll ride some rides and stuff. We're not looking to like squeeze every drop out of Disney. So I think it'll be nice and laid back.
Except that Disney is going to squeeze every drop out of you.
It is.
Listen, that's a very expensive vacation.
Is. Yeah. Oh, well, it's cheaper than Hawaii. So there's that.
Yes. Well, that was another reason why I didn't go with Roman and his father.
Back on the cost.
Yeah. I said it would be easier for y'all to go, and then what we would have spent as me going as a third person, they were able to spend on like the activities, like making lightsabers or some robot that was
the droid. Yes.
The droid. Yes. All of that. And I have found, especially, I was new to my career. I was only 5 months into a new role at my new company.
Yes.
And I know that how busy I was last year when they went. You know, I would have taken my computer with me as I've done on most vacations. So I'm curious. I would like to hear, are you going to take your work computer or your phone or your email with you? Or are you someone who is able to 100% disconnect when you go on vacation?
No, I take my work computer. I do try to set aside just a little bit of time each day to get caught up. So in the downtime or we're at the hotel, I'll spend like 30, 45 minutes just cleaning out emails and making sure nothing's on fire. But I'm not on it all day, but I do take it. It's hard for me to just 100% walk away.
Why is that?
Why is that, Kaanji? Part of it is because I don't want to come back to 1,000 emails, and it's kind of nice to just clear it out as I go. So when I come back, I know when I'm coming back to. It would be hard for me to just walk away for a week and then come back on Monday and be like, what's going on? It's hard. That would be hard for me. It's less, and it creates less anxiety for me if I just kind of at least keep a little bit of connection and I know what I'm coming back to when I'm back.
But that's why we have PTO. That's what companies and organizations expect us to do. And I think, I mean, I'm saying this, but it's also something I do.
I was going to say, don't you point at me. I know you do it.
I'm just thinking like why it is that so often women who work outside the home have that difficulty completely disconnecting from their job when they're on vacation. And I think that there's a couple of things in addition to what you said, like you don't want to miss out on anything. And also you don't want to kind of show or be seen as someone who's kind of a slacker, right? Or somebody who...
That's probably true. Yeah. I do have an unhealthy view on what it means if someone is unavailable for too long. Mm-hmm. I do think I have a little bit of a tick about that.
Well, one of the problems I think that happens when we go on vacation and something that I would love to be better at as I move forward is making sure that when I'm on vacation, I'm fully present with my family.
That's true.
And so I like the way that you said that you kind of carve out or set aside certain times that you will kind of be checking your work emails and things like that and being present or accountable for work, but that won't overlap or extend to your family time when you're on vacation.
That's right. When we're out doing activities and we're together, I'm not working. It's usually and Jason does it too. And it's usually like when we've come back to the hotel and everybody's kind of winding down. We've got maybe a TV show and everybody's relaxing. He and I will pop open our computers, run through our emails for 30 minutes, and then shut it back down.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is if we are people who take work on vacations,
yes,
one of the things that we can do as parents, moms, dads, whatever, is to make sure that if you are bringing work, like a work device, is to make sure that you're accountable to like a timer or clock, right? You're only working for a set period of time. You hold that boundary and you don't extend beyond it. So if you say, I'm only going to work like 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., then that is that time. And you make it known for everyone who's on the vacation, like this is the time when I'm doing this. And that way you're fully present the rest of the time.
That's right. If I know I'm going to have that time carved out, then I'm not thinking about it the rest of the day if I set that boundary up front.
I love that. So one of the other things you mentioned was how this time you're going to try not to be an overscheduler. How does that happen? Like for someone,
how do I not overschedule?
Yeah.
I think I've had to just learn to just not do it. When Gage was old enough for us to start taking trips, the first few trips we did were like beach trips with another family where we all went and shared a house together. And I remember the first year, the other mom and I, we like way overbought groceries and planned meals for every night to cook. And then, activities and found things. And then we never cooked any of that food and we never did all those activities because everybody was just like, we just want to lay around and do. And it's just been year after year of me sort of letting go of that idea. Disney's hard for me because everybody's yelling at you to like set a specific itinerary or you're not going to get all the things done. And I think I've just slowly, as I've gotten older, been able to embrace the downtime and that, the things we want to do will get done.
Yeah.
Whenever they get done.
I'm not that way.
I know.
And I think a part of it starts with when you're planning. So for most of the vacations we've taken, they've been vacations where we are traveling by air. And so since one of the first things I have to do is make the air travel reservations, right? And then thinking about what the lodging is going to be and the car. And so I'm starting my vacation in this planning mode and kind of go from there, right? So since I'm planning everything out, I have the itinerary. I'm like, well, let me just fill in everything for the day. And it's not fun.
No.
I don't enjoy it. Nobody that travels with me enjoys it. It's like I feel very self-aware, right? Yeah. But I just don't know how to let that go and just be able to kind of just let things take us where they're going to go. Because ultimately, if something goes wrong, it's going to be on me.
I understand that. And there's two things I will say. The first thing I'll say is I often felt the exact same way, that if something goes wrong or we miss something, they're going to blame me because I planned the entire trip. And the second thing is that we're not going to do something that I want to do if I don't plan it. And so I'm not going to get an opportunity to do something I want to do. So I'll talk about both of those things. The first thing is, for years and years, I 100% planned the trip, and there was fallback where I would hear complaints or people be frustrated because they didn't like it, blah, blah, blah. And it would make me very angry. And so at some point I decided I wasn't going to be angry anymore. And the way I solved that problem is twofold. Number one, I would make the plans, but I made them sit down with me and talk through, what is it that you want to get out of this trip? What is it that you want to do? Here are the options for it. Do you want to do that? You have to get up at 6 a.m. Do you want to do that? Yes. And I make them buy in. I still book everything and I still do it, but I make them buy in on the time, and this is what it's going to look like. So now they've got skin in the game. And that cut way back on the complaints about when things get wrong, because they knew that we had all talked about it. There were no surprises. And if it didn't go well, not my fault. Right. So I did that. The second thing, the way I solved that problem is, I'm going to tell you a secret. And it's something not everybody knows. But when you go on vacation with your family and you want to do something and they don't, you can go do that by yourself. You get to control what you do just as easily. And I have done that. They've been like, I don't remember what it was. I can't think. There was something in Yellowstone. I don't want to go do that. And I'm like, cool, I'm going.
Right.
I'm going to take the car. I'll be back in an hour. Y'all enjoy your downtime. No harm, no foul. I got to do what I wanted. They got to relax. Everybody got what they wanted.
So how were you able to kind of be okay with putting yourself first and doing what you wanted to do and leaving them at the hotel?
After years and years of everybody angry on vacation. I mean, we had so many vacations where like day 3, we were ready to kill each other. And after that, I mean, I just finally get to where I was like, I don't want to fight on vacation. So if that means I'm going to go do what I want, you guys do what you want, that's what we're going to do. And it works.
So often for so many years, I've had these conversations with other moms and they're like, vacations aren't fun for me.
Right.
Family vacations aren't fun for me because I feel like I'm doing exactly what I do when I'm at home.
Yeah, in a different location.
In a different location. Right. And so I've heard this from so many women over the years. It's like when they come back, it's like, well, I need a girls trip because that's going to be my vacation.
That is a better trip.
100%. Always. But now you're going to get me in trouble, Tara, with my our producer husband. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tara. Sometimes a girl's trip can be a better trip. Is it better?
100%.
But we also
not every time, but most of the time. Sorry, Joe.
You just can't help yourself.
I know.
No, but what I'm saying is, how do we create these vacations where it's fun for all, including the mother or the father, whoever it is that kind of takes on that role of being the planner,
the coordinator.
Right. So if that is the mother or the father, whatever that person's role is, how can they then be the person that's like still enjoying the trip? I think that a couple of things that we have mentioned was, still making sure to have time for every person to kind of do things that they enjoy. And that includes the person who's planning the trip.
Correct.
Right? And if it means you kind of may have to do it without the family, that's it. But I think one of the things that you mentioned was really important. That's kind of like pre-trip conversations, like sitting down with the family, with your partner, or if you're, kids, if they're old enough, and kind of explain like, this is what we're going to do, and get their buy-in for some of the activities, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, the last few years, Gage has picked our vacation. I've been like, where do you want to go? And we talk through options and he picks it. And then as I start planning it, I do the research, obviously. And then I sit down with him and I go, here are the things we can do while we're there. What's important to you? And then Jason says, I want to do this and this. And Gage goes, this is the only thing I want to do. And I go, well, I want to do this. And then we work it out. And then I talk them through it. Like, hey, if you want to do this, that's only it. You're going to have to get up early that day. Is that cool? Yep, that's cool. Make sure everybody kind of knows what's going to happen. And then for my guys, I don't know if this is the same for all families, but I know my guys and they need afternoons off and they need like if we're going to go hard for a couple of days, they need a day where we don't do anything. So I try to keep that in mind too for them. A little bit of it's just knowing your family, like what the rhythm of your family is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think our vacations over the last 3 or 4 years have gotten so much better, probably because Gage is older. That helps. But that we all kind of talk through, where are we going? What does everybody want to do? Let's make sure everybody gets something on the docket.
Now, you and I have these situations where both of our sons are only children. And we know that some of our listeners have multiple children. They're getting involved in these situations. So what do you think is the different with that dynamic when you only have the one kid versus having multiple kids? I think it's easier sometimes when you have multiple children, because a lot of times what we have found is that Roman is either doing things with us, so like we're constantly like entertaining him as well, or we're doing things that we think he will enjoy, or we're trying to encourage other people to come on the trips with us.
Well, like we said, we did that for a few years because, I mean, I do feel bad sometimes when we go on vacation and Gage is just with us, and I those first few years when he was little, it was nice that he had friends, like kids he could play with and not just sitting around looking at us. And I think it worked out. So I think that is easier. But I bet it's probably more complex to make plans for a bigger family. So I think we probably have it easier in that Gage gets to put his input in and you're just kind of planning for one and not having to plan for 2 or 3. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. I'm always in awe of parents who have multiple children.
Yes.
Because they're the real heroes and MVPs in this world.
100%. I don't know how y'all do that.
One thing that I think that we should be mindful of, and this isn't just vacation, I think that this is kind of like as we have moved into this more tech heavy world, but even on vacation, like we've been on vacations and we've seen people, like if you're in line at a roller coaster and everyone is on their phones, or everyone is kind of disconnected. And even in our everyday lives, if we're eating and kind of people pick their phones up, I would advocate for like tech-free zones or tech-free time when you're on vacation. Is that something that you've considered or you've done?
We've taken a couple of trips where it was forced on us. Like Yellowstone, there's no cell coverage in the national parks. No. You cross the line into the park and your phone goes, I'm out. Like there's no... Every now and again, at like the more populated areas, you'd get like a blip, but no G's in Yellowstone. And then we did a Pacific Northwest trip where we drove through Oregon in the more rural areas, and there was no cell coverage. So we've had it forced upon us, and it was pretty nice, I have to say. We haven't specifically said we're not going to have our phones out today. It's hard sometimes too because my phone's my camera. So that's where I get into this trap of like I've got it out for pictures and then I'm like, oh, well, let me just go scroll, So we haven't specifically done that. But I think we've had a few times where we've sat down at dinner and I've said to Jason, like, let's put our phones away and just eat dinner. We've done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys do that?
Well, most of our vacations have been cruises. And so we do, like you, and Yellowstone and the Pacific Northwest, we just don't have the ability to use phones because we don't
have to buy like a package to get it, don't you?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. I have a friend about to go on a cruise. He was telling me this story. I'm like, lock that phone up and be done.
So, and I think, and also it's weird because when we go on our cruise vacations, it really does feel like we're away.
That's nice.
So you feel like, oh, we don't have phones. I don't have access to anything. And I'm fortunate because when we go on those vacations, I was like, I'd let my job know, oh, I'm not available at all. And do you know what happens when I come back from those cruises? Nothing. Job's still there.
Turns out the world revolves without us. How does that work?
So it's weird because I have all of these fears of, oh, what happens if I don't check my work email or my email or Slack or messages or do these things on the weekends or at night. And then what I do is I find I kind of drop off the face of the earth for 8 days and things are fine.
Everything moves right along.
Everything kind of has a way of working itself out. So what I would encourage people to do, especially people who kind of feel as though they can't disconnect and be fully present on vacation, is to really just maybe test it. Give it one full day. Like, one full day, I'm not going to do anything and see how that feels. Kind of just easing ourselves into a new rhythm and like every day, just encourage us, like, every day I'm going to do an activity with everyone in the family, and maybe rotate and say, this day we're going to do this person's idea of fun, this day we're going to do my idea of fun, and always rotate yourself in several times.
Absolutely.
Probably more than other people in the
Maybe
family.
I get every other day and y'all get the ones in between.
Yeah. But I think for me, that's kind of something I have to remind myself is these moments are fleeting. And that's what our kids are going to remember. And ultimately, I think that's what we're going to remember, because it's not the everyday doldrum, right? But they will absolutely remember, like, these moments that we are creating, those special moments. And so it's like, what do we want them to remember about them?
Right. We don't want them to remember that mom was on her phone the whole time or had her laptop out every time they sat down. We want them to remember that we were all together and laughing and having a good time.
Right. And let's be real. Most of us, or a lot of us, have jobs that sometimes when we check the emails, they don't elicit the best feelings from us, right?
Yes.
They kind of puts us some kind of feeling some kind of way.
It does.
And that could be like angst or anger or frustration or all of the things.
Yes.
And just knowing that even like, and then it's even worse when sometimes you can't do anything about it. Like you're reading information and it's like, oh, wait a second, I'm not even there to respond.
Right.
So if we know that that's going to be kind of what our mindset may be, if we put ourselves in those situations, why would we do that?
Right. Why would you wreck the rest of your trip because you just read an email that could have waited till next week?
It could have waited till next week.
Couldn't wait till next week. I am preaching to myself. I need to write these things down.
No need to write them down because we've recorded them.
Oh, that's right.
And what you can do is just play this episode back before you get on the plane to go to Los Angeles in a couple of weeks to go to Disneyland. So, what are you looking forward to most at Disneyland? Is it all just the Star Wars stuff, or is there something special that you want to do when you're out there?
I am excited about the Star Wars stuff. Strangely enough, I'm a big Star Wars fan too. I'm not going to make my own lightsaber, but I am excited to see all the fun stuff. I am actually excited because the second day we're there is the start of Disneyland's like Halloween season, and they have a Dias de los Muertos parade every night and like a park set up with a bunch of decorations and costumes, and I love Dias de los Muertos, so I'm very excited about that.
So you have to take a costume. Are you going to wear something?
Oh no, I'm not a costume girl. I'm just going to be in my regular mom pants and t-shirt, my uniform. Okay, my mom uniform.
Podcast family, I need you to encourage Tara to get a costume, and we want her to make sure that she posts pictures of herself as something. I got to think of a good costume for you.
Maybe. I'll think about it. If you find a good one, I'll think about it.
Podcast family, what should she be? Let's think about this and let us know.
Not a princess. Please don't say it. I'll be anything else.
You can be anything you want to be.
That's right.
So that's good. Yeah, we're still, I think right now we are planning our first cruise in a couple of years pre-pandemic. So next summer of 2023, Roman will have graduated from 8th grade, God willing. And I think we're going to plan like a European cruise. For the most part, most of the cruises we've gone on have been in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And so looking like, okay, maybe my husband is Italian. He's Italian American, and so we were thinking maybe of going to Italy and doing like a cruise from there. So we'll see if anybody knows of any good discounts or knows of any travel agents.
I
hit me
love that
up.
idea, though. I think we're going to start doing some bigger stuff like that too. In a couple of, maybe not next year. We're going to try to still go to Hawaii, but after that, we're talking about Japan.
Ooh, I love this.
Gage wants to go to Japan.
I wonder. We should go together.
We should go together.
So season 5, we should like record the podcast from Japan.
Oh my gosh, in Japan, yes.
And we should interview moms overseas.
Oh, we 100%. We are planning way out in the future.
Wait, let's just get through season 4 and next week.
Let's get some episodes under our belt in this new season.
Yeah. So before we go off to Japan and Rome, Italy, and all of the other places, let's just know that this season we have some incredible content lined up. As we are launching this fall with some great episodes with some amazing guests, and we can't wait to share them all with you.
So excited to have you guys with us. As always, remember to make sure that you're following us on all your listening platforms so you don't miss any of the new episodes. You can reach out to us and follow us on Instagram at Black and White Momcast. We love having you with us each week. Thanks so much for joining us again.
Guard your health, mental, physical, and spiritual. Take good care, podcast family.